am back. Give me a second. Welcome back to the best of the best practitioners of love and light, the most ethical, because you know why? You reciprocate your very best equally, always. So, we welcome in the angels of love and light who to protect and direct these messages, protect our chakras, our auras, our space, and that of our children's. We rebuke any other energies that fall out of that definition. Okay? In the name of Jesus Christ, we rebuke all other energies. Why? Because we're doing a reading in light of Father's Day for the last couple of hours that we have for the day. I recollected that after I did the previous reading, but it's good to have a little bit of a break session between those times. So, even though I didn't feel like I accomplished very much today, it was at the tail end in grounding myself with like a regroup for the holiday. And I know that some do not get to celebrate it according to its traditional sense. However, in Reformation and transmutation, we are taught, or we learn, more so learn, how to make the best of our situations. And so sometimes, you know, there are those that have to parent themselves because they are forced within that niche of, or niche, however you pronounce that within your preference, of learnings. So without any judgment to that, we always have to, manage through our situations. And I found myself like kind of almost driven within this like comatose atmosphere where like I have certain luxuries, I would say, comparative to especially like a third world point of view. I mean, I'm very lucky. Like there's many blessings that we can count, but there's a lot of like shit also happening, right? And so what are we going to say about that? In managing through our situations, I found myself much of the day just like in bed trying to go through like these videos and other readers. And I just found myself kind of almost jaded, And after I went through the checklist of self-care, like I had a very good like breakfast, and I enjoyed that and making that, and it just kind of felt, I don't know if I would say lonely, but it felt like, okay, so what's next? What else is there? And usually stuff like that gets me through the actual week. It didn't cut it for this weekend, and I just found myself super stressed. It was like the undercurrents of stress in having to face like this court stuff, even though like all of my readings show that they're like, not just that I have the upper hand, but justice is coming for me, that it's pretty much ensured. There's still work that needs to be done behind it. So in my head, like cognitively, I'm trying to figure out what is it, like there's a lot of work that needs to be involved. So it's making like a mountain over a molehill comparative to all the things that we go through in life. I mean, in summation, looking at where we are at right now, these are very complex times that we're working with. I mean, if you're here, you already know that. You've already been through it, but it's still like, there's still more. And so, I mean, like, we rise to the occasion. So I was just waiting for myself to rise to it. Like, have some, like, bit of inspo. And sometimes you just have to, like, jump into it, like, double dutch. And get into the rhythm of it. And so that's where I need to be. I just need to start that, like, build that into just motioning towards that for tomorrow, or even getting the wheels turning for tonight. But with that, like getting hung up in that, there's so much more to life. And going full circle with this, how that pertains to this reading is that I found a sense of grounding when I was finally able to reconnect and celebrate Father's Day in just like a new school manner. In the previous years, it's been very stressful, rugged, and not like rugged as an adventurous, rugged like you don't want to step on anybody's toes, but yet you're in a crowded room that like needs crowd control. And and so that's what it's been like for recent past years. And so we make the best of it, but sometimes like like making the best of things, it's also a work in progress too, when major changes occur. And so with today, I would say that it was very much a success. I've been changing up the patterns, especially with this new moon coming. It just came like second nature to me. And so a lot of valuable things came from it. Like I was starting to get stressed because I was like, okay, I'm just going to grab something from C's Candies, bring it on over to my parents' house and, like, well, whatever. Also knowing that looking at my bank account and that I will have, like, after I loaded this, migrated from this forum to YouTube, the finalization of what I put in, I think for June 2nd, it was, the messaging part of it was that we will always be provided for. Like, even if it's just like the very bare minimum, that's not going to be promised as like, that's all that you're going to get. But at the very like bottom line, you will always be cared for. You will always be provided for, even if it's just like the bare bones. But you will not be forgotten about when you're doing this type of work. And so I'm like, I've been dreading it, like, gosh, I thought I already saw that version of it. But then looking at my bank account today, thank God it's a positive, but, amount rather than a negative. But looking at that, at the very end of the month, that is when I will have the very bare minimum to make a late payment on the minimum amount of my mortgage. It's still late and it's still not the same amount, but like I have to like, it's like all of the money is just going to go towards that, just that. And it's just like, thank God I have at least a kickback of CalFresh, the EBT card, like, what is that? Food stamps, like a nicer way of saying food stamps. But it's like, I know I'm not supposed to go backwards and rewind into like selling like old stuff. Like if I need to let go of certain items, like the Marie Kondo way, I need to donate it or give, in some manner. But I am not supposed to like sell it on, these other apps and sites. Like I've done that before, and it's like, I know for a fact I'm not supposed to go back to doing that. Not saying anything about anybody who does that now, but for me in particular, my path is not, I have to resource my time more wisely in my new discovery of newer abilities, like more fruitful abilities. And so I'm forced to employ those. And not to look back on people who supposedly wasted my time within interviews, like motioning through, like some of it, like a lot of the times people are just nosy, asking questions, trying to find out my networks. Like they already know what I do. So it was already positioned as though like I wasn't going to be employed by them. It was just to gather more information. And so not to, frown upon that, because people dig their own ditches. They get their own karma for what they do. Okay. So I'm not supposed to aggravate my situation based on theirs. And that's one of the lessons, right? One of the gems along the way. And, so I'm trying to pick it up as I go. But for this particular instance tonight, there was more than just the slotted value of being together. Even though, like, I went to Z's Candies and they closed like 15 minutes or so before I arrived. I was like, motherfucker, like, I can't even. So I realized, okay, my family is based on the concept of like presence. That is the most important thing. That there's a shared priceless value in that. So even if you show up empty-handed, you're still of significant value when you're coming in, also with like not just your spirits but a good heart. So like a good heart is just like the one up, the like wonderful to have. But to make the motionings of establishing time to get together, it was supremely important. Is still in my family, both the core unit as well as the extended. And all of us are adjusting to like these new changes on the microcosm and like the expanded microcosm level. So, you know, I have not much to say about that except an acknowledgement towards that. But the fact that it was not just the intimate value of like coming together and spending time with each other, making like, we only have so much time. Like, seriously, you gotta make some time, even though like you just like don't expect much out of it except like time together. It's important. It's good. We have something to learn from each other, especially if we're mapping, like we've mapped the plan out with spirit, with like divine forces before we enter into this lifetime. Dude, we already like helped structure this. Why are you going to throw away those plans? Like, those are super important. So, you know, we did that. But then I learned some other things along the way that were just like very eye-opening. And it showed me with the progression of time that my, the insights, the spiritual drops that I've like received along the way, you just have to like give it some time. Like the immediate gratification of answers and the comprehension of it, like it shit takes time. So today was great. Today was good. It helped me like come back home and clean up a few things, tidy up a few things, and it feels significantly better. Like seriously, aesthetically speaking, like energetically speaking, the feng shui is like off the charts right now. It's not perfect, but like significant improvement. And so I have a lot more confidence in executing what needs to like roll out for the next few weeks, which is great because nothing can come in the way of that, really. Like realizing my manifestation powers are at like a very supreme level right now. I have to understand that we don't need to make, like, I don't need to make drastic changes in order to live out my life purpose. Okay? Like, holding integrity is drastic enough for this world. Like, it's a major culture shock when people encounter me now. Don't realize it. Like, sometimes I'm hesitant to speak within that magnitude, but people know. People know after. So anyway, with that, honoring the importance of this day and what it means, I'm going to follow through with Dark Days Tarot. Okay, I'm just intuitively drawn to something that was practical, close to the concept of the creative King of Pentacles. So creative solutions, industrious, nature lover, sentience lover, on a level where they honor the queen, their queen, you know, their right-hand person. They're the best mother of all queens. Okay? So when you find that kind of a person, not just within your suit, but also magnifies the like overall value of receptivity and gratitude, that's what we're going with here. Okay? So we're going to answer the question with that long ass intro. 10:31 a.m. I'm sorry, p.m. is What makes you a good father? What makes you a good father figure? Okay. This is a timeless energy reading, so we're speaking on a soul level as well as, our growth patterns, okay? Because this being a timeless energy reading and change is constant, which means that if you're revisiting this down the road, that means you're in development, that you not just have the eagerness to do so, but are intentionally following through. That means if you don't see it right here and now, that's soon to develop for you. That's within the patternings of your ambitions and your spirit. Okay? So we're going to answer the question, what makes you, regardless of your sex, gender, preference, whatever walk of life you come from, or how you identify yourself, what makes you a good father figure? A wonderful father figure. Okay, we have the Four of Wands. How perfect is this? How perfect is this? Look up the Four of Wands if you have any question towards this. It is the 1111 energy, the prime kinship energy. It is home and hearth. It is the manifestation of a community within the solid unit, like being like under one roof. It's considered the happily ever after. It's self-actualization, like your temple within the most intimate microcosm. But it's also giving birth within that umbrella to the essence of family. So this even applies to, let's say you're in college and you are sharing, like you have roommates, right? It's kind of like that friends atmosphere, that kinship atmosphere, that you're building a house into a home. Whatever you're in close proximity to, you're also bound to care about. So within the same cycles, similar cycles of like our auric fields being shared, there's a sense of being able to love so much that you are able to let them go and help them gain a greater sense of their independence, their inner knowing. So what makes us a great father figure role is the understanding and the honoring of life as it unfolds. There's a greater comprehension of care. That there's sensitivities involved within the atmosphere of what it means to provide for someone beyond the monetary value. Because the Four of Wands here has the concept of home interlaid here as far as the phases. Okay, so there's no actual building structure here other than the foundations that are set within the energetics. So what makes this a great father figure is not just the ability to like cognitively comprehend that, but also to employ that to learn how to apply that in real life terms. That's wonderful. We bring home and hearth to the atmosphere. We enable others to build. You see there's Three of Pentacles here. Actually 4 and then the 5. It's all within separate gatherings. So when we have to say goodbye to others, for them to gain a sense of independence and maturity, for them to see how they're going to employ themselves in the world, the Three of Pentacles here, and work with their own like flower? Where are they going to bloom? There's also a sense of like letting go. So there's like a 5 of Pentacles here where it's almost like a release, like there's a parting. There's almost like a division of assets almost. So it's amongst all of this change, especially depicted with the moon phases here. There's no hard feelings here. Amongst all of that change, we are a representation of there being like goodwill, good faith, good tidings, good luck. Very nice. Okay. Second card, Spirit. What makes us a good father figure? What makes you a good father figure? Calling in the ancestors of love and light. What else do you have to say about that? What makes us a good father figure? What makes you a good father figure? Okay. So we have the King of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Swords in reverse, the 7 of Cups accentuated, and the Sun card in reverse. Okay, this is complex, it looks like to me. Because the King of Wands in reverse, face value, is like a player. Okay? However, in looking at all of this, these are highly abundant cards. Okay? Being that the sun is right behind it and it's kind of like almost set. It's set in stone as far as how much happiness we are able to bring into this world. There's like a fertilization, like when we assert ourselves, it is very effective within the success rate of knowing how to make the environment more not just tolerable, but tolerable is at the very base minimum like level. But when you're able to do that, you know how to interact with people. You know what makes other people tick. So knowing that dynamics at the very base level, you know, we're the least to say is that we're effective. But with the front card being the King of Wands also in reversal, it's saying that we're you're charming. You have a very charming personality. Okay. But you're like quick-witted also. And with that, it's like you're able to come up with solutions like on a dime, at the drop of a hat. Like each solution is independent on its own. So it's not like there's a slight variation to this or that. There's, it's, I don't know, it's like a world of solution on its own, another solution on its own. So it's like plan A, plan B, plan C, whatever, are all separate avenues. It's not like, oh, a slight variation for plan B, a slight deviation this way for plan C. No, they're like completely different worlds of opportunities. So, wow, that's interesting. So what makes you a great father figure is your ability to fix things. Like to be able to provide beyond, like provide within what most dream to have. We're employing that. We actually deliver solutions. But that's only because we learned how to swim through our own trials. You know, there's a mermaid here. And being like very agile and knowing like our own spark, our own flame, our own success rate, or like, see this fertilization. So this is in Hangman mode. So a lot of this happens when we remain objective, when we are almost non-biased to the other sentience on the other side. Okay. King of Wands in reverse. We're looking at these as abundant, like, as an abundant quad. We're seeing that it's just the King of Wands in, like, objective mode. Okay. Observing his or her relationships. Give me a second. I need to go ahead and... oh, shit. Okay. Ugh. Sorry. Goodness gracious. I need to go ahead and plug in my thing. Okay. Give me a second. Okay, good. All right, so looking at that, non-biased, just kind of more open-minded, okay? So there's less obstacle to access these points of resolution, okay? What else do we want to say here? I mean, this is wonderful because, okay, we have the Wands energy, the Swords energy, the Cups energy, and I don't have Pentacles here, which is great because in order to look at things objectively, you have to be like unearthly bound. Do you know what I mean? Like having that kind of a stretch, you are not bound to the tangibles of like monetary wealth. You're like, not to say that it's not important, but to say if we're looking at things like at a raw like perspective, like the bare essentials, the bottom line, it has very little to do with monetary engagement. Okay, so being that there's more of an unbiased approach to, and this is excellent because when we look at that, when I learned when I took like an HR class sometime in college a few years ago, some of years ago, we talked to, like, there was something about intrinsic and extrinsic value. So you get a greater engagement with intrinsic value. However, for me, I gotta say, extrinsic value would be super. It's gonna be super nice once I get that. But for right now, it's just kind of like it's helping me achieve my goals. Let's put it that way, okay? It is a good starting point to get me resituated into my best of years. Okay, this is the origin story unfolding, and each opportunity is getting better and better. So that I am grateful for. Okay, bottom of the deck, it's the Lover's card inverted. This is beautiful. We love ourselves, who we've become. And even though we can't always see what's going on, we're still swimming through it. Like, our head is still in the game as far as, like, just navigating through it. Putting our feelers out. And, so this is, very much, like, you know when you get, like, super frustrated at times because you don't have a sense of clarity as far as what will happen, like, 5 days down the road, or what will happen like 5 years from now, or even 5 months from now. Like, that can lead to a lot of frustration. And sometimes, you know, like, you kind of like, on some level, on some degree, it's a natural, like, human condition to hate yourself, like, for not knowing, for not being able to even gauge it. Like, it's very frustrating. You hate a certain part of yourself for not, like, even understanding why. And so, like, you get over that. Okay? That's what it's saying here with the Lover's card inverted. Now we have the Three of Cups inverted. That's excellent. So we're still able to like have a sense of like lightheartedness when it comes to like not having that visibility. There's still so much more to celebrate, you know? So, all right. Well, that's part of what makes you and I a good father figure. Okay, what else makes you a good father figure? A great father figure. Okay. So the Ace of Wands in reverse, the Hanged Man in reverse, the Devil accentuated, Nine of Cups in reverse, and Strength. Dude, why? Okay, the Devil is in the middle and it's accentuated. Okay, so we might have you might have a very aggro personality here, like very much needing control, in control, very exacting. Okay, however, when we look at this, there's greater meaning within the context of being like thrown in the middle of it all. And sometimes a lot of the times we're put in the situation of being like thrown like in the midst of like craziness, okay, disarray, okay, having to put out fires, having to be part of that realm, having to manage that. Therefore, we've got the Devil energy. So it's no wonder why we need more precision and have exacting behaviors, okay. But we manage, okay. Having what in front of it, like the Hanged Man in reversal, that's more self-awareness, that's enlightenment, being like thrown in the field, okay. The Ace of Wands in reversal, it's almost like lighting the match. Sometimes we have to do that. We have to you have to be able to discern like how to show tough love, how to kind of be the bad guy, how to be the agent of change, and some of that is also character development. What makes you a great father figure is understanding your role, but also not compromising your engagement in it. Also knowing that there's a humble factor in being objective to your current standing, that there's still growth opportunity for you to better harness your magic, your firepower. So there's a sense of awareness in that. The Devil card. It can be kind of jolting. You can be kind of jolting for others, and even like surprising to yourself. Being that the Nine of Cups in reverse is right behind it, and Strength, there's a certain degree of discipline that you have. Okay, sometimes it's not really like playing bad cop, but sometimes you have to show tough love, which means that there's also sacrifice involved, and like in your sense of like personal fulfillment, that you have to like kind of buy against the future. Like you have to not buy against the future. You have to sacrifice now, your happiness now, in order for long-term development of the future. Because the end goal is to build strength, fortitude, sustenance, not just for self, but for the family unit, being that the Four of Wands was the primary card. Okay? So, that's what makes you a great father figure. And we have 5 cards here, which also like hidden value here is the number 5 in the major arcana is the Hierophant. It's the High Priest. It is the teacher. It is one who is very well respected, has a great deal of credibility within their discipline. They set the tone. They're the ones that marry, the 2 lovers. They're respected within their community for good reason, especially if an upright. And I would have to say this is an upright, despite what we got was the Devil card, because every bit of energy plays a role within our character development. And this one is more purposefully applied within our divinity. the ultimate backing, the backbone of this is the Strength card. So some of you might be like international, almost like Muslim, or you know, like you see she's very covered up, like Muslim high priestess almost, or very much kind of not disguised, but conservative within your dressings, within how you hold yourself, how you share yourself with the world, but also very grounded, because you see barefoot right there. There's a certain degree of strength that you depict, that you that kind of energetic that you give off. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Swords. So you know how to tame your beast, right? There's 8 of Swords right here, around like the birds around the lion. So you know what makes you tick. You know how to self-manage. Yeah. And you've done this independently. This was done through independent study and observation of how you carry yourself throughout this experience of like this this set of 5 here. Okay. Anything else? We're gonna do like just a short reading. Anything else, Spirit, before I close out to do the Banagrams? What makes you a great father figure? I'm going to also accept this as my own energetics. Okay, what is this? Ace of Cups, pronounced. It fell right on top of the Ace of Wands and the Hanged Man in reverse. So those 2 primary cards out of the 5, it's saying that like this Devil card is although accentuated, so is the Ace of Cups accentuated. So this is very much mutable in the fact that what we present to the world is value, is of value and valid, and not to feel like, what is it? There's no reason to feel threatened by our presentation and our delivery in this world. Okay, so if you encounter such, just know that it's another position to rise to the occasion, to the challenge, for further character development. Maybe not so much of a ratio fractioned for our sake, but for those that we teach. Okay, so Ace of Cups, for sure. This is very good. Okay, so bottom of the deck is Page of Swords inverted. So a lifelong learner. Knowing, it's not just because we want to have the know-how and have the upper hand of like data. It's more so knowing our part in this world, and that the intrigue is very much of an intimate process where we get to learn our placement and find more fulfillment in how we apply ourselves. Therefore, the learning process is not just like something to check off the list as like, oh, we're lifelong learners. Like, we're not living within cliches. However, we are fulfilling our destiny in seeing that to fruition within the right spirits. Okay. Top of the deck is 6 of Wands. This is ultimate victory. Talk about success rate. This is like, they're like roses, roses, roses. People, there's other sentience, not just what we see face to face value, that honors our victories. So what makes you a great father figure is that what you do is not just credible, but is commended by others that you don't always see. Our energy is timeless, okay? It's concurrent, overlaid, timeless. So those that applaud you are from different lifetimes, different dimensions, different realms. It's not always like the people that are within our like locality, but they offer equally, same, like roses. It's all within equivalence. So it's nothing less just because we can't see it, you know? Like, some people may not believe in like fairies or elves or, you know, mermaids or whatever. But it's just of equal value when we are commended by others that we don't even like, or we're not fully aware of or comprehend. So that's excellent. Okay, it's split to 6 of Pentacles inverted. Okay, and when we talk about success rate, again, we have master number 66 here back to back. We're looking at bringing things to the table. Okay, so whenever we are involved, invested, what makes you a great father figure is that the success is not just like putting it out all on the table for others, but also knowing that there's a bring home, there's a take home. So you ensure that. So not only are you a provider, but you are a true protector of the family unit, the home. You're not going to come home empty-handed. Like, for real, there's always a comeback, there's always a takeaway. And to bring that, this is I think the first pentacle that we've seen here. We bring it home, you know. Like all of this amounts to something substantial that inevitably equates to something that is tangible. Okay, excellent. Oh, okay. Now it is Banagrams time. Banagrams time. This is great. This is good stuff. Let me tell you. Okay. Let's close me. Let's close me. It's so wonderful. I love it. Okay. All right. What fell out? I. Okay. So we'll take that. What is it, Spirit? What makes us a great father figure? What makes you a great father figure? Oh, there's like an on-off switch here, okay? So you're able to manage controls well. Primarily speaking, we know the on and off switch. We know where it's located. We know how to self-manage. It's very simple. Okay. NAIETOIIFNNOHTBTAIWL. Bath, Beth, Nathan, Nate, Ben, Bethany, but with an IE. Leah, Boy, BOI. Anne, Anna, Annie, Benny, Neil, O'Neill, Teal, Tabitha. I think that's maybe the first or second time that I've gotten Tabitha. Han, There's other unique names in here. Fiona. Maybe I'm supposed to get something from Fiona Apple. Okay. What is that song? Extraordinary Machine. I think that's I'm hearing like the dun, 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 and then her like Extraordinary Machine, you know, that kind of thing. So it's Extraordinary Machine. Some of you might be into like that kind of like tap, like kind of classic, like that kind of. There's something that keeps you on your toes, like, but not on edge. There's some kind of spirit that you have that's very like inner child within that atmosphere. It feels safe. It feels like harmony. It feels good without being like, you know, criticized as too feminine. There's something about that. So, Tina, Walt, White, Witten, Thin, I know there's other names here. Ethan, Alan, Nina, Bonita Applebum. You gotta put me on. Why is that here? Bonita. Bonita is beautiful, isn't it? Something like that. Bonita. We have the Fae here. All right, so first off, we were going to put, oh shoot, I already forgot. Oh, I already forgot, sorry. Do I see buffoon here? Oh, you can definitely joke around. Yeah, buffoon. Nail. Like when your accuracy is on point. Like hitting the nail on the head. I can't believe like I forgot what it is that I was going to put down on here. That's okay. Fanta. Gosh, Angels of Light and Love. If I'm to remember before this close, just let me know and I'll put it together. Sorry, it slipped me. Alton? There's something else that wants to come through, though. Okay, success came in multiple times, like very abundant cards, so I'd have to say win. Yeah. I see lion here. What's Blythe? Give me a sec. There's something about Blythe here. It's about like casual, happy-go-lucky, but like also a note of indifference. And I think that some people may perceive you that way, only because like in order to be effective as you are, you have to like remain kind of not 100% aloof, but objective. So they might find your humor a little off-putting. But people, most people don't really understand the value behind that, its purpose. Let me see if there's anything else that I need to put together here. Let me see if there's anything else that I can place this with. No, I think I'm supposed to leave Blythe here. Okay. Some of you might drive a Fiat. Something about tooth. I think teeth are supposed to depict like civilities, like the measure of civility, how I think that's your presentation in that. So but the original messaging that I got from it is that you're fierce within your endeavors, that you will go tooth and nail at something. Yeah, tooth and nail, like, oh my gosh, for real. So rather fearless within your approach. Wow, yeah, for real. Tooth and nail. That's insane. Like, insane. Okay. What else here? We also have fit. So you're very fit for where you are at, where you are positioned in life. That your learnings, wherever you are, have clearly positioned you to where you're at. Like you've manifested this particular placement. That's what it's saying. That your bite is... like your bark is almost like irrelevant to your bite. You like your bite is what is the biggest deal here. Like yeah. Interesting. Is that right? Let me see here. Yeah, that's the only place it goes, okay? All right, so I have 2 N's, 1 O, 1 A, and 1 I. Aeon, A-E-O-N. Something about a teacher's assistant. T-A. But something about an eon. Something about that. Give me a second. Aeon in what do you call it? There's a tarot system. I think the Aleister Crowley's version of it is Aeon is judgment. But let me go ahead and check. Easy. Like what we teach is tribal knowledge. What you teach, like what makes you a great father figure is that you're like a teacher's assistant. So not only are we building a future of leaders, but also like for many aeons. You know what an aeon I just looked up that is? That's 1 billion freaking years. That's crazy. So this tribal knowledge is just like classic. It's timeless. So to be able to fulfill this role and land within your positioning, manifest that, this is greatness. It's good. It's 11:16 in the evening, so I have IN left here. So we could put it as like 9-inch nails, or tin, like the Tin Man, or bin, like it's in the bag, but except it's in the bin. But again, we have another win. Oh my gosh, this is magnifique. At the toppermost place that you can put it, we have achieved. You have achieved win-win situations. Freaking, oh my gosh, let me show you. Okay, what the heck? Dude, look at that. Freaking look at that. Okay, so first off, we had Nail. Okay, so that's 1, the Magician. 2, we had Blythe, which is the High Priestess. Sometimes the High Priestess can be off-putting because of her supreme knowing, the divine downloads that she gets, and the follow-through of that. Kind of like pretty much staying aloof because she stands within her own, within that wisdom that she attains. Okay, 2. 3 was, I believe, Tooth, which is the Empress. You know, what's all the abundance if you're not able to digest that? Okay? So, it's contribution to fertility, sustenance, being able to digest that. Okay? So I have 1, 2, 3. 4 was win. Okay, so that's the Emperor energy right there. Like, no question, no doubt about that. 5 is fit, which is the, what do you call it? The Hierophant energy. So very fit for the position. Not just the know-how, but the applications and the credibility of long-standing within practice. You attain that. You achieve that. You earn that. Okay. 6 was Aeon. Okay, but it's also the conversion of adding, contribution of TA, which is teacher's assistant. That's the Lover's card. That's endless love for sure. Like, it's, dude, I don't even know. And like in the Aleister Crowley version is the Judgment card. It's karma. That's good karma right there that we're building. All right. Now you are building. Okay. That's what makes you a great father figure. 7 is gaining traction, which is the other win right there. Win-win situation, not just for me, but also for, you. Or not just for you, but for others. Freaking excellent right there. Looking at the cards again, the array that we've had here. Excuse me. And then looking at that starting point right over here. That's awesome. Okay. Wow. All right. Happy Father's Day. If I didn't say that formally. And now that this reading is officially over, I thank all my sponsors, all of our sponsors and supporters of Light and Love who have donated in that demeanor. Within those efforts, they are received and employed accordingly, obviously. And again, when we do the hands down thing, that's like hands down the best. We got it like very well self-managed. We know our stuff like the back of our palm. Like we can see that. It's visible. This is transparency within our gestures. It's obvious, indisputable. And so I think that's it. So thank you for your continued efforts and successes. And now, upon closing of this reading, I thank you in advance for your respect on our time, our space, our energy, our work, and that of our children's. And now that this reading is officially over, upon closing all portals, I send all energies back to their appropriate locations outside of mine, outside of ours. I send you all back with your appropriate karmas due, assisting with that rollout to unfold. In light and love, I close all portals now.